another edition of The Morning You.
Another morning and more rumours about this manager, and I don't know what the conversations are about anymore. I really don't. Yesterday, there was reports that there's a manager shortlist being drawn up, and Gareth Southgate's on it, Iriola's on it, Glasner's on it, etc., etc. And then you get from other credible sources that are close to the club that actually RUBEN AMORIM has the full backing of INEOS, and they're looking to give him a full season with what they deem to be a good squad. Well, then we're just throwing away our season. Then that's, in my opinion, that's what we're doing. We're essentially saying we can see it's not going to get better because we can all see that. That doesn't take a rocket scientist to work that out. And we're not looking to make any moves on the managerial position. So guess what? We all go back to the XG. We all go back to the final third entries, and we all go back to maybe we can do back-to-back wins and prove that this is the right thing to do and see the rest of the season out. That's probably what the best thing to do is. Absolute joke, mate. Absolute joke. I have no idea why we keep coming on here on social media, even every day, having the same conversations, expecting something to just click in. It ain't gonna happen. But anyway, that's my opinion. Let me know what yours is. Drop your opinions in the boxes down below. What are Man United waiting for? Or is this the right thing? Are fans too impatient? Are fans wanting it all too early? Does RUBEN AMORIM need more time? And do you agree with the decision that INEOS have made to basically keep backing RUBEN AMORIM? I can't see why. I can't see why. Smash a like on the video, people. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I would say happy Monday, but it's not a happy Monday. It's a usual Monday off the back of not winning a football match, off the back of not winning 2 games in a row, which has also been blown up like it's some big, massive trophy, some big, massive achievement. By the way, me and Owen were talking about this before we went on air and was like, actually, why the hell did we keep going on about, because when's going to be our best chance to get back-to-back wins and back-to-back? It's a load of rubbish. But hey-ho, Man United, we go again, eh? We go again. We go again.
Yes. Good morning, folks. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Let's get to a quick 100 likes. We're currently at 80. And also, as we said, be sure to subscribe. Top right-hand corner, you can see right there, getting closer to 206,000 on the road to $250,000. One thing Manchester United is not flex is optimized. Yeah, but we are. Here's how we are optimized. Roll VT wasn't my best one.
Today's video is sponsored by our friends at Oxford Natural and their all-new natural supplement, Optimum Day and Night. Thousands across the UK, USA and beyond are smashing their health goals with Oxford Natural. Optimum Day gives you steady energy, curbs your cravings and keeps your metabolism firing all day. Optimum Night helps you relax, get restorative sleep, recover and keep burning fat while you rest. It's not a magic pill, but it will help you reach your health goals. Check out some of the incredible results. 2 of our own. OWEN lost over 100 pounds in 10 months and KG dropped 30 pounds in 4 months. In 8 months, football legend Michael Owen lost 35 pounds and Robbie from AFTV, Don Robbie, lost over 80 pounds. And in 6 months, Anita, an award-winning immigration lawyer, lost 44 pounds. And Linda, a law firm executive, lost over 50 pounds. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Oxford Natural, let's get to work.
No gimmicks, just results. If only that could apply to Manchester United. Just
results, what are they?
Yeah, exactly. Can't get that. But you can get results. All you have to do is scan the QR code right there or click the link in the video description down there. And you can subscribe, save up to 70% off. Use the code UV. You can get your Optimum Day, which is good for your weight loss goals. Optimum Night, which is good for restorative sleep. It's a brand new and improved formula. Get optimized today. Flex.
What's the news, Owen? What's going on? What's happening out there?
Well,
what quotes have we got from the media today?
We've got backing. We've got backing. There's been spin. There's been briefings galore. Simon Stone says, despite the loss against Brentford, RUBEN AMORIM still retains the support of Manchester United bosses. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe feels it's only fair to judge the Portuguese on a full season.
Why?
A full season of this.
What does that mean?
He's nearly, once we get to like November, he would have been there for a full year. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man.
But we continue. Chris Wheeler saying the same thing. Manchester United still backing Ruben Amorim, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe is refusing to panic. Sir Jim believes Amorim deserves time to work with his players. United sources said on Sunday that the club are not lining up any replacements. However, there could be a bit of a financial incentive here. Alex Crook and Ben Jacobs writing that and they did stress, it would be reluctant if they did get rid of Ruben Amorim. But if Manchester United decided to sack Ruben Amorim, they're likely to wait until after Saturday, November 1st. Why? Because then he would have been in the job for more than 1 full year. Therefore, it would reduce the level of compensation. There's been that number of £12 million that's gone around. The suggestion is it would cost £12 million if they sack him within the first year of his contract. Therefore, if they wait until after Saturday, November 1st, the compensation would be significantly less. Therefore, do we just keep losing until Saturday, November 1st, but then we get a cheaper option? There had been rumors and reports about short lists and things of that nature. You spoke about yesterday, Flex, on your Flex's view. Samuel Lucas, writing that Fabian Hertzler, Oliver Glasner, and Dodi Iriola among the coaches under consideration by Manchester United if they do decide to sack Amorim. But he retains the club's backing. But United apparently are keeping an eye on potential replacements. This was something that Alex Cook and Ben Jacobs also said, saying that Iriola, Glasner, and even Sir Gareth were on this managerial shortlist kind of thing. But then Simon Stone then said multiple suggestions from external sources of shortlists replacements being drawn up have been dismissed by Manchester United officials. They're adamant no one's being lined up to replace Ruben Amorim. Interesting one coming here from Sully Talk, saying that Ruben Amorim is being described as a lonely man by sources. In training, he often walks away from the team. After losses, he sits on his own and doesn't speak to anyone. One says the job has broken him and he looks a ghost of his former self from when he first joined the club. Gary Neville also basically saying that he's got, the Sunderland games that's coming up. It's massive for him. He said he's very, very, very concerned. I really am, because the manager's obviously a good coach. He has a great record in Portugal, but it's not clicking at all. You've got to see what happens next Saturday against Sunderland. If the game goes against Manchester United, you're going to start seeing very big questions being asked of the ownership. Big questions. And I think
he's Gary Neville's non-committal, but he says the thing in a diplomatic way.
That last bit, that's the key thing now. I think a lot of people are looking at. Obviously, I spoke to some of the members after the game on Saturday. And to be fair, I think a lot of people were sort of going, my attention now is turning to INEOS, because, Ruben Amorim, as much as he threatens it, he's not going to walk away. He's not going to do that. He's not going to leave money on the table. And he's also saying that he's not going to change. So we're going to see the same thing every single week, which we are seeing pretty much the same thing every single week. As we've seen for months, we win about 1 game a month. Our points per game is about 1 in the Premier League. We are in relegation form. He's not going to change that. He said he's not going to change. So now it's on to INEOS so when's enough then? When's enough? And if you're saying that actually enough's already been enough, but we're just sort of waiting that we don't have to pay him as much on November 1st, because so much has happened since he's come in, Ruben Amorim. Why would things turn around based off 1 game at this point? Because it was, and I know it's easy to say in hindsight, but it is kind of foolish looking back on it, going, right, we're going to beat Brentford and we've won back-to-back Premier League games, and right now we're all fixed. Like, it's never going to be changed off 1 game. Like, it's not changing. It's the same, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It ain't going anywhere.
Nothing's changing. It's the same. And I guess, out of some, like you like to say, loud and proud, INEOS are just sort of hoping that, it might get better, when probably deep down they know it's probably not going to get better, because if it was going to get better, we would have seen signs of it at the moment. We haven't. So we're just waiting till it gets really even worse. How can it get even worse?
That's all they're showing us. That's all they're showing us as fans, is that we'll wait till it's catastrophically bad. Obviously, it is already with how long.
And that's what I mean. And then people would push back and go, well, what is it now then?
No, but when I say catastrophically bad, I mean, okay, we're out of everything. There's no Euro. Do you know what I mean? They're just waiting. But we already know where it's going. We can already see that there's been no improvement. You're just waiting for no reason, or you're waiting where you're publicly saying this stuff, but behind the scenes you are looking at, because you know Samuel Luckhurst is the one from the opposite side, and Alex Crook and Ben Jacobs, they're on one side saying there is a shortlist. This is who's on it, and you know if they do look at him, or he does maintain the backing, but they're also keeping tabs on these. That seems more like what it is. Listen, Simon Stone and Steve Ralston and other guys, Chris Wheeler, they're also close to the club as well. So this is quite confusing, because there's clearly a line from the club that, no, we're not looking at other people, you know, retains the backing of the manager, rubbish. But as incompetent as I think INEOS could be in this situation, I'd be stunned if they weren't lining up like potential. Surely they must be. Surely, when you're this bad, you must know you're one. Because what happens if we lose to Sunderland then?
Well, this is the other part.
Like that, he has to go. Like there's no more conversations, bro. Like there's nothing more. This is on them now.
Like people, you know, the Sunderland, like Sunderland at home. You can't lose to Sunderland at home. Newly promoted side. No, Sunderland are 5th in the Premier League. They've started very well. Like
started better than us.
If you were going to base this on like recent form, performances, and results in the Premier League, Sunderland would be considered the favourites. They are playing better than us, and also it's not only performances; they're getting results as well. We're doing neither. This is the other part of it. The whole thing of like, oh, performances, but we haven't been getting a bit of luck. Our performances have been good. They actually haven't, you know. Again, they really haven't. People are going to talk about XG. If I hear another XG or shots on target or total shots argument again, I'm going to have a meltdown, Fleck. I really am, because I saw that performance at the weekend against Brentford, and I've seen that basically since Ruben Amorim came in, which is the slow passing around the back, inability to pass the ball. There is no structure there. There is no pattern of play there. And if after a year you can't find that, then it's not working. The results aren't changing. The performances, as much as people can point to these individual stats that try and support arguments, I know with my eyes, watching us every single week, the performances aren't changing. The results aren't changing. And it is at the point where I do almost feel bad for Ruben Amorim at different points. I believe that report. He does look like a broken man. He does look like a shell of himself. Since when he first came in, we'd like to talk about aura. You know, all that aura is now gone, isn't it? Now the image we have of him is just, you know, this sort of guy that can't look at penalties, corners, all this stuff, and pissing it down in rain, standing in the rain. That's what the job has broken him. You know, he won't be the first. He's not the first. He won't be the last. But the job's broken him. The job was too big for him. Wasn't the right step for him to make after Sporting. Like it's not worked out. You know what I mean? It's over. The whole thing hasn't worked out.
No,
factually.
It's finished. And people are right now where they're saying, you know what? It's on INEOS now.
Yeah,
it is on INEOS. It's so true.
Put him out of his misery.
When people say that, because you're just keeping him in there for no reason. Now, obviously, all he's ever going to do is keep fighting for his life. He's a manager. He ain't going to give up. He says, I'm not worried about my job. He even told us, I'm not worried about my job because I can't control that. So as long as I'm in this post, I'm going to keep trying, whatever that means. And obviously, he's not trying enough because he's not changing anything. That's a different question. It's almost null and void, like discussing that anymore, you know? Like, you see the whole, but why doesn't he change this? But why doesn't he do this? Oh, yeah, but this. Or why does he take off that centre-back? Or why does he always put other centre-backs on? I watched Match of the Day the other day. Don't know why, but I did. And Michael Richards was making some good points about the shifting. I don't know if you saw it. Like, they basically put the formation on there, which obviously stayed the same, and then looked at the subs and was like, the players already aren't comfortable in the system. But the way he just kept moving players. So I think, like, you had, like, Mason Mount come on. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I was there, but it was so annoying and confusing. But I can't remember player for player. You lot will probably remember better than me. But cut a long story short, you had, you know, Lenny Yoro coming on kind of cold. Then that meant Mbeumo went to right wing back for a little bit. Then Mason Mount came on. Then he went to like
Yeah,
left
left
10,
wing back
and
or
then
something like
and
that.
then there was
Yeah.
just all of this. Then Dallo went to one other side, and he went right centre back, and then someone else dropped it, and it was like, who's this benefit? Like, what? How is any of these players who already ain't confident in this supposed to get any rhythm from this? What are you doing? What
Right.
are you doing?
Ridwan says it here. Sunderland now have 11 points. Manchester United have had 12 points since the start of April 2025. Sunderland started playing in the Premier League in August. Trust the process, though. And this is the other part of it, isn't it? It's like, as we've mentioned many a time before, if there was legitimately something to hold on to, something you could point to, that you could go, but that's like real improvement, or that's tangible. They've done this. I used to get it with the Eric Ten Hag stuff. I did. I used to understand it with the Eric Ten Hag stuff because people would point to trophies. People would point to legitimate, tangible results, and you go, look, you can't argue against that.
Ever,
they go, see that you got results there, and he did finish third in the Premier League. Like, you go, all right, okay, fair enough. Like, I get that one. I don't agree with it, but I get it. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. I mean,
we had the opportunity to do the scumbag. Like, look, there's a trophy though. We did get did win that Europa League. Did win that.
There's
nothing.
There's nothing. There's nothing there. There's no results to speak of to hang on to. There's no points per game. There's no trophies. And there has been now a summer transfer window where you were backed. There has been a pre-season. You've got one game a week. That was the other part of it. Every single excuse that's been put out there for the last year now nearly has been completely obliterated because they weren't logical in the first place. Of the whole, he needs a transfer window. All right, done. Well, he needs a pre-season. All right, done. Well, he's not having enough time to train them. Now you're training them all week. That one's done. And that's all they were, is excuses, because the currency of football is results. And I think because we've gone through so many managers and we're so desperate for it to work every single time that we ignore, ironically enough, red flags, don't we? We ignore them. We ignore red flags.
Don't run that VT anytime soon, because we are going to finish 15th again.
Because we're so desperate for it to work that we will just ignore them, won't we? We'll just go like, I tell you what, losing to Spurs in that final, that's not good, is it? Or
in the manner as well, like the way.
I tell you what, these the last second half of the season, but we wrote it off. We wrote it off because we were focusing on Europa, and you go, oh, okay, that's I guess. And we're training one game, it's one game a week now, but we're still not really improving on the pitch or getting results. But it'll come good. We just kind of sort of delude ourselves, don't we? And it's got to acknowledge that it's not working.
And there's this fear, there's this stupid fear, which when things get untenable like it is now, I don't understand how people lean on it, but everyone's entitled to their opinion. I just don't agree with this particular point. Well, do you want to start again? Who'd you get?
That's
the one. Yeah, that's but who are you going to get instead of this, though? Who are you going to get? Or, but we're going to have to start again. Yes, we are. We are going to have to start again.
Because it can't continue like this.
Yeah, and guess what? If we start again, and then a guy comes in and has basically another year, and it's as shit as this, he goes as well. Like, yes, you keep sacking the manager until you find a manager that can show enough improvement, because he's earned that. That's all it is. Nobody's saying you're going to be able to sack a manager and then all of a sudden we go and get the right one who takes us back to the top of English football. Obviously not going to happen. No one's asking for sack the manager, then we'll get a guy who's going to win us a trophy and finish second this year. No one's saying that. But what you can do is expect somebody to come in, if they're good enough, if you find the right one, to come in and show some level of improvement. Do you know what I keep saying as well? And the pushback is never there. If you finish 15th, bro, with how we finished, right? Breaking all them records, all them home losses, all those away losses, all the, the final, everything you want to call it, yeah? It should be so easy if you're a decent manager, for me. It should be so easy to show something the next season to prove that is not a true reflection. It should be easy. If we were sitting in like 8th now, trickling along, can see a little bit. there would still be some, yeah, well, you know, I didn't expect miracles this year, to be honest. You know, if we finish 7th or we finish 8th, that's where we finish, man. Do you know what I'm saying? That's where we finish. But the fact that you literally look the same as last year by taking out 5 players that you think are shit and awful and problems and viruses at this club. Not saying none of them should have been let go, by the way. But I'm just saying, you're in control. I don't want them. Us fans as well, right decision, fair play, right? I don't want them. I also want these 3. So you get 3 shiny new toys at the top end of the pitch. I want a whole new attack. We scored 44 goals last year. This was an anomaly. I'm telling you, we're playing well. We just can't score goals. So just like, I need a whole new attack. Obviously, yes, we know what's going on in midfield. Every manager needs stuff. Let's get out of this situation that all managers either wouldn't like new toys or new players or don't need it. Like, let's get out of that. Every manager needs or would like something, and no manager gets every single target they want. And maybe managers who have shaped their squad for years by earning the right, maybe those are the managers who need a lot less. You know, Arne Slot, don't get me wrong, he's earned the right. He won the fucking league off no budget, and they spent loads of money, and he got pretty much everything he needed. Arteta, yeah, you can laugh and say second, ole, eighth, whatever. He's earned the time by making Arsenal better. And year on year, they've got a better team. It's taken them a bit long to get there, and some of the questionable decisions. Why didn't you get a striker? All of that crap, whatever. But now you look at their team and you go, they pretty much have everything they need. City, they got to the end of their cycle where they had everything at all times. They rebuilt in January. Didn't quite go the best. Added some more in the summer, and now they're going again, but they got one of the best managers ever. You know, every manager needs something. So let's drop this whole, but he needs a midfield as well. Look what he's done with the midfield as well, by the way, by putting Bruno Fernandes in it. Look what he's done to Kobe Mainoo's confidence.
Oliver Glasner has lost key players every transfer window he's been there, right? Whether it be Elise, whether it be Eberechi, Eze, whoever, right? He has 18 matches unbeaten in the Premier League. Crystal Palace are 3rd, right? But he did get signings that he wanted, right? If you're, so Handel says it here. What will sacking the manager?
Sorry.
What will sacking the manager achieve? We might actually win a game, right? This is crazy. Well, what would actually sacking a manager do right now? Maybe they might, play a different formation, play, your most creative player in the creative position in the 10. Actually
might even play the same formation but play it better.
You might actually win some games. Like there is no defending it. There is no defending it. And like you said, the gotcha is, well, who would you get then? Who would you get? And if you rightfully so go, well, I don't know. It's not really my position. They go, well, if you haven't got solutions, if you haven't got if you haven't got solutions or what have you, no, like any manager worth their salt. Like this is the other part of it. When people go, oh, Man United fans got no patience. Fucking yeah. Well, I think we've shown more patience than most.
Too much. People laugh at us. People
show more patience because not even just not a top club, an elite club, would this not be accepted? It's not even being accepted at like West Ham. They just got rid of Graham Potter. They coming around similar times. No improvement. Got a summer transfer window. I've got a preseason. Things weren't changing. He's gone. What should be the difference there for Manchester United, right? And Nat says anyone but Southgate. Look, I'll hold my hands up, right? This is not me going get Gareth Southgate in by any stretch of the imagination, not at all. But I'm not turning my nose up at anyone at this point. Yeah. Nobody, because I don't think I've got any right to do that anymore.
No,
with Gareth Southgate, when he was getting linked to the job in the first place. The suggestion was that it would be like this, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
If Gareth Southgate comes in, we'll be 15th and we'll be losing every single week and the style of football will be rubbish. I mean, that's what we do. That's what we do now.
Yeah.
That's what we do now. Yeah. So as much as obviously I wouldn't want Gareth Southgate, what I'm saying is if managers get brought up or linked to the job that we go, no, I can't do like we did with Thomas Frank. God, Thomas Frank from Brentford, he can't go to Manchester United. We are not in the position, right? Anyone that can come in and get results, right, then deserves to get time. if you're coming in and you can't win a football match with Manchester United, right? Unless the opposition's down to 10, right? Then anyone could get a fair crack at the whip, right? At this point,
do you know what?
I think the
Do
standard's
you
been lowered that much.
do you know what's actually mad? And I said this the other day, yeah. And it's gone beyond like shock horror. Like, you can't say no way, Flex. I actually, someone said it at the start, like, Flex looks so finished. I actually don't care. Yeah, I just say, I swear to you, Gareth Southgate would actually improve us from this point. I actually think he would.
Well,
I actually think he would. Do you know why? Because he actually would go in the changing room, yeah, and just do that, like.
Well, he would do what he did in England,
playing.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, he
like,
would.
You know,
he would.
Nice place to be around.
He would.
He'd do what when Ollie first came in as the interim, and he was just like, "Look, let's just be happy." Basically,
and it's and like, honestly, and I'm not saying, and it's mad to say this, yeah, it's mad to say this, like, G-Man, I hear you say no, Southgate, this, that, and the other. I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
The thing is,
not
that there where it says
Southgate,
but he would, bro. In any way, we're not improving in any metrics. So,
no.
You know what I mean?
And it's got that bad. It's got that bad. You can't say that someone who went into England, yeah, where England haven't got close to winning anything in fucking since '66, yeah. Well, actually, since 90. When did we get to the semi-final? Was that
Italia 90,
innit? Yeah, maybe that's the closest we've got since then. But anyway,
Italia 90 in the World Cup, and then Euro 96 we got to semis as well, didn't we?
Euro 96 semis. But you get my drift of, like, consistently challenging.
We had to a final since '66.
We had 2 finals, so 2 Euros finals and 1 World Cup, 2 World Cup quarters. Did we get to the semi as well against Croatia?
To Croatia, yeah.
That was a semi. I thought that was a quarters, and then we went out to France in the last one, in the quarters.
Mm-hmm.
But the European ones, you're looking at it, yeah. I'm just saying, like, you can say, look, Flex, just stop. Come on now, Flex. I'm just saying, yeah. I'm not saying he's the answer. Go and bring him. I'm just saying that Ruben Amorim is that shit that Gareth Southgate would walk in there and he would get a pickup. He would.
Well, this is the other thing. This is the other thing, isn't it? So the name's been linked to the job, right? Andoni Iraola, he'd get more out of this group of players. Oliver Glasner, he'd get more out of this group of players. I think the point is that because nothing is being gotten out of this group of players, then even a Gareth Southgate would probably get more. It's like going, look, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he'd get more out of this group of players because he would, you know. Eric Ten Hag got more out of the group of players, didn't he? And we've openly said that group of players is shit. But even Eric got an 8th place finish and, you know, got trophies. So that's why you got sort of going, well, anyone could at this point. It's not to say that some of them are good enough, because some of them shouldn't be good enough and some of them shouldn't be considered. But it's a bit like when we were talking about the goalkeeping situation. You know, when like Onana was the number 1, and we're going, you put Tom Heaton in the net, he'd do better just because it's that bad. That's like the Southgate situation, isn't it? Of going, it's that bad that you feel like anyone coming in could probably get more, you know. It doesn't mean go and get them, like what I'm saying there. It doesn't mean, oh, Gareth Southgate should be the one. It's just saying that at this point, most people would be getting more, because most people would adapt and change, wouldn't they? Just to get a little bit out of them. So that's the point. So,
then there's still some people doing the whole, like, they just won't say just the manager's done. Like, just see you later. They're still trying to, like, blame Bruno and say he's a disgrace, or just blame Maguire saying he's rubbish, or this, that, and the other. We've always got players that make mistakes or don't show enough on the pitch, and they deserve flex. They deserve.
Got to be careful here. You got to be careful here, because when you do this, you get accused of being player FC.
You
get accused of that.
But what I'm saying
it's important to stress here, because when you talk a lot about the manager, it's when people think you're spending too much time on one issue. It must be stressed here. Everyone's the problem, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's the problem. So don't get me wrong. A lot of those players, they're shit, right?
Yeah.
They're rubbish. You want to talk about Bruno? Bruno was a disgrace at the weekend, and he has been rubbish this season. Has he been played out of position? Yes, but he's still a disgrace. Dallo, awful. We can go through. We can go through every player.
Go for my player ratings, mate. Yeah.
The system as well, it doesn't work. It's not working. The manager, it doesn't work. it's not working. So it must be stress. It's not like a player FC situation, but you know, something has to change. You can't write off the season at this point. I already feel 6 games in. That's kind of what we're already doing, isn't it? That's kind of, it feels like what we're doing at this point in time. But, you know, as bad as those players are, I do not care what people say. You can get more out of them. You can, you know, than what is being gotten out of them. And I know that they can't pass the ball 5 yards, this, that, and the other. Well, hide the negatives, you know, show the positives. If we can't do that, fuck it. Go counter-attack, direct. Let's do that. You know,
bro.
something.
Commit more bodies forward. Put an extra fucking attacker on and stop having all these defenders on the pitch at all times. You idiot. What are you doing? Like, people, them same people who want to talk about Sir Alex would never have done this, or since Sir Alex left, or took Sir Alex 6 years. Okay, I've also seen the kid with Sir Alex saying, when you lose in the game or whatever, you fucking gamble, mate.
CH says here, Flex Owen, do you guys seriously not think a manager can turn the season around after Christmas? A manager can, Ruben Amorim can't. I'm happy to go on the. This is the other part of it, CH. You if there was any evidence, because this is why it was laughable, the back-to-back Premier League things, really, wasn't it? If there was any evidence that Ruben Amorim could go on a run, I'd be with you and go, well, look, you know, they can go on a run after Christmas. Ruben Amorim can't. He hasn't won 2 Premier League games in a row, right? It's not the amount of teams that have already won back-to-back Premier League games this season. Some of them with new managers, right? I've already done what Ruben hasn't been able to do in 18 months. So I agree with you. A manager can absolutely turn a club around after Christmas.
Yeah, it's possible.
But not Ruben Amorim. Not Ruben Amorim, because it's not going to work.
And not Ruben Amorim with this team. Maybe put Ruben Amorim back in Sporting, and they've been on a bad run. Put him back there right now. Probably go back there and win the league. Great. All lovely. Not Ruben Amorim here in Man United. No.
So I think, to be fair, I think that answers the question. Do you not believe that can happen? No, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
No,
there you go.
I need to be. I'm one of those people. I need to be shown some evidence of something to go, right, I believe that. I believe it. I've seen that with my own eyes. I have not seen that.
Believe something you ain't seen. Yeah,
I have not seen that. I cannot believe.
That's what you call blind faith, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't do it.
Tabra says, I was listening to Viva La Vida by Coldplay, and the lyrics describes Man United to a T. Now the old king is dead. Long live the king. I mean, I haven't heard that song, but that's the lyric then.
I used to rule the world. Man United did used to rule the world. They don't anymore. Yeah.
There you go. Very, very befitting. Terence Pace says, I'm not defending Amorim, far from it. But this job has become untenable for every coach. Should he be sacked? We're going to have the same conversation this time next year or 2 for whoever's next. Terence, I hear what you're saying to a certain extent. But if we have the same conversation next year, then that manager gets sacked and you get a new one, bro. We shouldn't be scared. Here's what I'm saying, Terence, yeah? I don't think we should be scared or worried or frustrated about having to be on a merry-go-round until you find the right one. That's what success looks like, bro. In any business, in any institution, in any decisions in life, whether it could be a partner, it could be friendships, it doesn't matter. Like, you keep going until you find sustainable, long-lasting, good relationships. That's like saying, oh, it's gone really wrong with this partner. But do I want to have another partner by this time next year? I'll probably just best staying in this.
Or what if if you live your life by well, I won't, because what if it doesn't work out? Then you won't do anything.
You won't do nothing. Yeah.
Because that's always the question about anything in life, isn't it? Of, should I start this new job? What if it doesn't work out? Then, well, I won't change it then. What shall I move? Shall I move house? Yeah, what if the new house, like, I can't really afford it, or it's not going to really work out for me? New neighborhood isn't that good. But then you won't move.
I bought this car. I've had this car for a year. I've had nothing but problems with it. Should I get another one? Well, you could be in the same position as next if you get a new brand of car that might not work. What if you have problems with that car? You know what? You're right. I'm going to walk everywhere, including down the motorway. I'm just going to walk. Well, you can't live like that. You can't.
Look at the clubs, in my opinion, in the Premier League. Right, Arsenal are second. Arteta. Why did they bring Arteta in? Unai Emery. They sacked him. It wasn't working out. Crystal Palace. They're in third. Why did they bring in Oliver Glasner? Was that Roy? Was that Roy?
I think it was Roy in the last legs. Yeah.
Roy. Yeah, having some health issues.
And he stabilised after.
And you know what? Yeah, and they go. You know what? We need to go in a different direction.
Actually, Vieira. It went horribly wrong with Vieira, didn't it? Horribly wrong. Then it's like, just get Roy in. Just get Roy back. Is that second stint? I swear it was a second stint.
Yeah. Tottenham, they're fourth. What happened with Ange? Yeah, we won the Europa League, but it's not working out. Getting Thomas Frank. Sixth, Bournemouth, Areola, Gary O'Neill did a fantastic job.
He was doing all right.
They went, but we just need better.
We need
Man
more.
City, when they brought in Pep, Pellegrini was their coach. He'd won the league the year prior. They finished fourth and they go, Pep's on the market though, so I've got to get someone else. You know what I mean? Chelsea, they're in eighth. Pochettino finished the season really well, finished sixth, and they went, yeah, but it's not really a good fit. Let's move on. The point being is, every club
look at West Ham
in the world, right? This is the mad thing with all of this, apart from a very, very select few instances, right, where a manager's there for ages and they leave or they retire or this, that, and the other. The life cycle of a manager is usually you come into a job because the club isn't doing very well. You're there for as long enough as you're doing well. When you stop doing well, you get sacked and someone else comes in to replace you. That is literally how football operates. That is how it works. So I think we have to get out of this mindset of, well, we can't make a change because, like you say, what if it's bad this time next year? If that is the case, then they'll find someone new. It's just how it.
That's what good leadership does. You just keep going until you find the right solution, bro. It just ain't rocket science, and that's what I'm saying. We're just thinking emotionally of like, oh, new thing, and you got to give that guy time, and yeah, you do. But also, that guy still has to earn the time. If he comes in and lose 15 on the bounce, like 15 straight games, and it's only a quarter of the season or 10, like whatever, he gets sacked. He gets sacked.
Look
like you have to lose,
Carlo Ancelotti, Don Carlo, winning Champions Leagues, wins the Liga. You get to the end of the sort of cycle and it's like, yeah, left on the contract. Don't know if this is working out. Xabi Alonso's available. They go, you know what? We think he can do better than Don Carlo.
And this is where we have to be careful, right?
You make changes.
About when we're like, oh, I tell you what, you know how big we are, I know how massive we are, you know how hated, adored, ignored we are. It's us. We dine at the table, and rightly so with history and all that. We dine at the table with Real Madrid, Barcelona. Essentially, we're the big three. We even take Liverpool out of it. Do you know what I mean? We even do that, really, don't we? We're like, listen, in world football, Liverpool got more European trophies than us, but in terms of league titles, I know they're on 20, we're on 20, so they would argue like what you talk about. But commercially and the brand and how big Man United is bigger than Liverpool. Don't care what anyone says. But we take them out of it. We do this obnoxious thing where it's like, Bayern a little bit below us, but, big as well. We do this thing. And this is why we have to be careful with this now, because we're saying that we belong with all these guys and we don't behave like any of them. We don't behave like a big institution. We don't behave like a massive football club that has rich history and high standards. Because you're right. Barcelona would not accept this. Real Madrid would not accept this. Bayern Munich would not accept. Liverpool would. No other club. And then you go even teams all the way down the bottom, even teams that are struggling. Karen Brady, bro. Karen Brady. Hear this. Karen Brady was on TalkSport about 3 weeks ago, bro. Live in the flesh on the mic. Yeah. Dropping big bombs. Retain support of Graham. He's going to do a good job. He's this, that, and the other. My man goes on to lose a couple more games. Get the hell out of here. I don't care what I said on Big Bad Radio live in front of everyone. That was then. This is now. Even if I wanted to keep you, I can't. I've got the fans on my neck. We have to have standards. Do you know what? We got rid of Lopetegui just a little bit before. That was a horrendous appointment as well. And you've been a horrendous appointment. Bye-bye, Tati bye. Then you've actually fallen on your feet probably with Nuno. And I have every faith that he'll probably stabilize. They still don't have a great squad, but he's a good enough manager to stabilize and earn time to get to January. Yeah, make him hard to beat. Now, again, no one's going to expect Nuno to be like, right, 2 years ago we were winning Conference League, so you do know, like, minimum now you need to be getting into Europe so we can do that again. Like with what? No, it's stabilize. Fucking keep us in the league. Keep us in the league, right? Stabilize, and we'll give you money in the summer, and you can shape what you need to do. Not this whole, oh well, we only just got Graham Potter not long ago. He came in around the same time as Ruben, and before that, Lopetegui was a disaster. He didn't even finish the season. We can't keep sacking managers. Fuck off. No, like I'm sorry. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, bro. Amazon says that if we had Dan Ashworth still, AMORIM would have gone. Well, he might have got sacked for suggesting it, really, with how everything. He might have got sacked by saying, I think we should sack this guy. I tell you what, we disagree with you. We think this squad's good enough and he needs time. Piss off, Dan. That's probably what would have happened. I love to speak to Dan Ashworth now to just see, like, bro, what was going on in there?
Yeah.
Tabra says it seems like this system only works if you score first. It's almost impossible to chase a game with 7 defensive outfield players. I see what you're saying. Super Arch says, how much are we willing to spend on sacking managers? However much it takes, not my money. Black Sheep 19 says, Euro and Heaven benched. Maguire and Shaw start in 2025. I mean, Heaven benched is like, listen, he's a young kid trying to, you know what I mean, trying to do his thing. But, you know, Euro's been benched the last couple of games. I'm not going to rewrite history. We were saying, actually, that if you were going to bench Lenny for a game, it probably should be that with all the long throws and, you know what I mean, maybe go with that. But they didn't work, did it?
I mentioned this before kickoff, actually. I mentioned this before kickoff, actually, on Saturday. I just didn't get this from Ruben Amorim. So the team news came out, and it was that back three: De Ligt, Maguire, Shaw. Then he went on his interview before the match and went, obviously, we know Brentford, they're a team that's really good in transition, and they can be really dangerous from that, which is how they scored their first goal on transition, right? A couple of their goals they get through transition. And I'm looking at that team going, so you know that they're good on transition, and you've picked a back 3/back 5 that's basically got no recovery pace. No recovery
and wants
pace.
To play really high as well.
No recovery pace. So you want to play a high line with Harry Maguire. You can see that first goal where 2 of the centre-backs are in the opposition half, and Maguire.
He's like, fuck running back, because I ain't got pace for that.
Then trying to run forwards. I'm like, but you've even said that. And I went before the game, when I was like, recovery pace, I just don't get that. I don't think that's going to be an issue.
But see, he's saying the wrong thing, because if he says he sits in that dugout, I think it was with Lindsay, I can't remember her name. I saw that. And he was on about Cobby as well. And if he says, well, we know what they're like with long throws and the aerial thing, we just needed a bit more presence or height in the team. And then you go, right, okay, I see that. And listen, they did pepper us with long throws, and some of them caused big problems. Some of them we got on the end of them and cleared it well. But essentially, like you said, the Achilles heel of the game, the thing that killed us was transitions. It was, you know, and you're bringing on Cobby Mainu, you know.
Really good recovery with his recovery. How many times have we seen Lenny Yoro make those recovery tackles, last-ditch sliding tackles? And also, it's not as if Lenny Yoro is terrible in the air. You know what I mean? It's not Lenny Yoro never wins headers. No, you know what I mean?
And then also you have to look at, right, what good it does these players. So, you know, you're talking about, like, the game's pretty much gone and we're cooked, Bringing on centre-backs, like any centre-back will tell you, whether they're world-class or they play down the park, any centre-back will tell you, everyone who knows football, you know how hard it is to come in, like you got Sharda and Igor Thiago and what's his name again? The other, Atara or whatever his name, like, you know, blood's flowing. I'm in the game. I'm fast. I'm sharp. I'm ready. I've been playing for 75 minutes. I'm in this zone. I know you can talk about fatigue in that. You know how hard it is to come off the bench and match that intensity in transitions, like when you're cold. Like, it's really difficult to do that as a defender. Defense is not really the area where you ask something different. Unless there's a defender who's having a stink or is about to get sent off, or by half time you're like, fuck, you know, he's conceding an own goal. He's on the yellow. He's having an absolute shocker. You're off. To me, that's the only time you change your centre-back. You don't change centre-backs, fullbacks maybe a little bit more, because one can give you, you know, going forward a lot more, you know. But centre-backs is that position where it's like, you don't really change them to, like, change the feel of the game. If anything, you're asking, it's a big ask to have centre-backs come on and say, right, get up to speed, get your touches, get your sprints in early, like, with like 15 minutes to go, you're chasing a game. That's not what you do. That's not good management. And he does it every time. And we were told by him that he only did that last year because of the heavy fixture schedule. What the fuck is the reason for it now? It's because it's another one of his shit principles. That's what it is. I'm going to keep changing my centre-backs. I just a bit of, you know, what do you think's going to, not once. Okay, apart from throwing the Maguire thing on up front, you know, that's the only time last year.
Well, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? I think it's because, like you said, his system is like those wide centre backs have got to be like, they're like meant to be creating chances, aren't they? You know, they're meant to be like stepping forward and creating. And it goes back to the system being an issue with the expectations. Oh, yeah, those centre backs, they're going to be pushing forward balls over the top and they're creating. So I'm going to switch those wide centre backs and they're going to make a difference. But They don't create anything anyway. You know,
crap.
Sometimes, like you do see it with, fair enough, with Liverpool this season, why they've got a lot of late goals is because they put people on and they just throw people up the pitch. That's what Sir Alex used to do. You know what I mean?
They make
it happen.
All of a sudden, you've got players running at you. The box is crowded and
everything's so the shape is still completely rigid, and you're just swapping in new people in,
like for like
and going,
guys, guys that aren't like at match tempo as well. So what they're going to elevate, you know. Listen, I know Kobbie Mainoo. It was kind of similar to when he obviously was early on in his career. Then at West Ham, I remember when he made that mistake and made the game be 3-1 and the game was over or something, or maybe it made the game 2-0 at that point. And it was similar yesterday for Kobbie or Saturday, where you know I was sitting behind the bench at the stadium and you know he did a couple warm-ups here and there, and you know Garte's running around not doing much, put out a few fires to be fair to him, but since you ask him to play a ball, really nothing. But you could tell Kobbie comes on, he's kind of trotting about, he's his pace. And, you know, he tries to put his foot on the ball and he toe pokes it instead of getting his studs on it and trying to roll it back. And that leads to the thing. And it's like, obviously that's really poor from him. But at the same time, I'm like, kid's got no fucking rhythm, mate. He's coming on cold. And I don't mean cold in temperature. I mean, you know, his feeling of the game. He ain't got feel for the ball. The team's struggling. And it's like, what do you expect?
It's the other part of it. I don't. I look at that and go, oh, it's a mistake from Kobbie, an individual error, and the goals, you know, we were from individual errors. A couple of them were, but at the same time, I still look at it as the assist. The problem with that system is there's just no. I know he says, "Oh, it evolves in the game," but it doesn't, though. You know what I mean? It doesn't. I don't think just across the board for any of them. Like this is why I say with the players, I don't think there's any excuses for the players because I do think they can be playing better. But I also don't think there's any excuses for the manager either because I've been consistent with this from Erik ten Hag through Ruben Amorim. I do not understand the logic of when we lose a game, hey, that's on the players. You know, the players, they're effing up. When we win a game, that coach is genius. You know, Ruben Amorim, Erik ten Hag, we won 2-0 today. That's because of them. Not because of the players, because this manager's just, you know, with puppet strings, manipulating them all throughout the game. Why does that make sense?
Well, he said it, though, didn't he?
When we lose, it's on everyone. When we win, it's on everyone. You know, it's not hard logic to pick up there. You know, everyone has their share of accountability, and that's again, I think it's been lost with all of this. We saw it with Harry Maguire when he did that interview when he was like, "Oh no, the players have got to do more," and the only reason people are talking about the formation is because we're not getting results. And you go, "Well, yes.
Well, I was there when I saw De Ligt after the game in the mix zone. He was doing an interview with MEN, and he was like, "Yeah, people look at the manager, but you know, it's us and this, that, and the other." And you know, it's obviously then it's hard because they're never going to publicly criticize the manager. They can't. You know, only someone like Roy Keane back in the day would do. You know, obviously, you know, it's Fergie, but do you know what I mean? Like, you can't publicly say, well, yeah, you know, we're really struggling under this system. You know, it's not really working. They're never going to say that. All they can do is put it on themselves. No one's going to put their head above the parapet and be like, nah, I tell you what, yeah, the manager's got this all wrong. We've had meetings trying to say it, but he won't change. He's told you he won't change.
Yeah, you hear that. You just hear that after the fact, don't you? Yeah, I remember Wayne Rooney saying about Louis van Gaal, saying that like right towards the end, he came to him, was like, "Oh, what do I think I have to do to turn this around or change it?" And he was like, "Oh, it's a bit too late now." By that point, I'm sure it'll be the same thing. You know, once Ruben leaves, there'll be the article that says all these players were having issues.
Yeah.
This, that, and the other. We only ever get like a quarter of the story, not even half of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I do think it is important to understand that again, everyone is to blame. Just because we're talking about Ruben Amorim, you know, most likely losing his job at some point, that's not to say that you're also saying the players are really, really good, because a bunch of them, they're shit. We know they're shit, but are they 14th or 15th place shit? Can someone else get them up to even like a 9th or an 8th?
Yeah,
I think they probably could.
It's good enough. And now it's getting into the bit where even the new signings, like Sesha gets his first goal, which is, you know, great for him. Had 3 bites at the apple, to be fair. Shocking goalkeeping from Kelleher, but you know, good for his confidence. At least he's off the mark.
And he looked better after that.
He looked a bit better. Looked a bit better. Slim pickings, but he looked a bit better because look how shit the team played. He hardly had a sniff, but he looked a bit better. But you look at Cunha and Bumo now, and again, they get infected by it as well. And it's like, and Bumo was trying quite hard. You know, don't get me wrong, he wins the penalty. You know,
Cunha
he has a
really
couple
good.
of Cunha getting the ball in a half turn,
greedy
giving it
as
away. Well. Yeah, just didn't slide in Bruno when he should have done. Lost the ball a couple of times. Yeah, okay, he had a shot on target second half, but nothing of what you expect from him. He hasn't.
No.
What we've seen from his moments of power, where you're like, there's something we need, but it hasn't transpired into the end goal, end quality, which we're waiting for that to happen. And Brumo's looked the most likely of anything to happen. He's a willing runner, powerful runner. But slowly but surely, I don't know what you felt about sitting in the stadium and seeing these guys afterwards as well. It's like they're slowly getting that level of feeling as well. And before we know it, do you know what I mean? It'll be, and they're shit as well. Like, I'm not, I agree. KG said it the other time. These are good players. Cunha and Bruno and Sesko are good players. Don't let any system or manager or results or rival fans convince you otherwise. They're good players. But slowly but surely, the way we're going and how the results will go, they'll get embarrassed. They won't score. They won't be impactful in games. And then people will start moving the needle, moving the conversation, moving the spotlight to these guys and saying, and also, what we spent 200 on them for? The crap, the rubbish. I can see that happening soon.
Watching the Newcastle Arsenal game yesterday, I was watching Walter Mata quite a bit, at the front, up front for them. And obviously, knowing that could have been Šeško, they would have wanted that to be Šeško. And I was looking at the game and I was going, I think Šeško would have done all right at Newcastle, Walter Mata, I was looking at him going, and I was looking at him going, yeah, he's pretty good actually, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking, although if we'd have signed him, we'd be going, look at this big oaf up front, just sort of jogging around, getting no service, that's what it would have been. But you're right. If you're a half decent player, we'll bring you down. That's what we'll do.
Yeah. D-Tracy been a member for 15 months, says we'd be stupid not to look at Southgate. What else can we do? We pick this guy that nothing, get a waistcoat in. As Flex said, he'd do so much better. Jay Valentine says, fans say Shaw and Maguire sacked previous coaches, but new players like Yoro and Heaven are put on the bench. Whose fault is that? Exactly. There you go. They don't pick themselves. Maguire and Thing have never picked themselves. Maguire and Shaw and all that. That's always the managers that pick them. So these managers contribute.
Just make sure make sure you can't pick them, that they're not at the club anymore.
It's got to not be here. Yeah, exactly.
Be here.
I mean, Super R says this manager did well at XX club does not mean he will get similar results at Man United. We have something raunch at this club. New managers won't solve it. International says only mention 2 players that shit. Who are the rest? Well, we just said about
loads. What do you
mean? Yeah, it's loads, bro. Dallo was shocking as well.
Bayern Deer, Maguire, Shaw,
Bruno,
Bruno, Ugarte, Cunha. Loads.
And Bruno, hot and cold, not good enough. Yeah. Terrence Pace says, please talk about the shocking officiating this year.
It is bad. I tell you what,
it is very, very bad. And every year they seem to try and clear things up with the PGMOL. The threshold for this has been brought down. Right, we should have it. And every year they find new ways to F it up. That Nathan Collins thing, though, because we were so angry, we were right to not, because we were so shit, we're right to not go in on it, right, in that isolation. But that is a shocking decision. He's not in control of the ball because he hasn't got there yet. He's about to take a shot and somebody pulled him down.
It makes no sense. The fact that
why have you even give a foul and a pen then?
Exactly. The fact that you have given a penalty is indication that he was denying a goal scoring opportunity. So it is a red card. When the match was going on, my only thing was I still don't really know the whole if you're in the box and you're not in the box, what's the last man? Double jeopardy. Like back in my day, it just used to be if you were last man, you were red. That was red card. But
also, if you make a mistake, if you make an attempt to play the ball. Versus if you don't make it, if you make an attempt to play the ball and you don't get it, they're like, fair play, you actually tried to get the ball. If you just pull the man back without trying to make an attempt to get the ball, which is what Nathan Collins done, that's when they're like, yeah, see you later. So you can actually make a tackle because you're trying to get it, but F it up. So they're like, that's a penalty.
Yeah.
But we're not going to send you off.
The fact that he gives the penalty is the fact that he's because he's denied a goal scoring opportunity. So that should have been a red card. There was one with Chelsea where Gusto just kicked the player in the head, and they had another look at that, and they said no,
stupid,
no
kicked him
pen.
right in the head, bro.
In the Arsenal game yesterday, there should have been 2 penalties, in my opinion. You know, there was the one where they go, "Oh, Pope got a touch of the ball," but I think it still goes through the player. You know, and then the one with Gabriel where. Yeah, they go, oh, yeah, but he touched it first. Yeah, but his arm's up here. That should be a pen. It's awful. Like, so bad. And then even the one that was overturned to get with Chelsea and Brighton, the red card, initially, he didn't give it. It was like the most blatant red card you've ever seen in your life with Chalobah. And the ref went, no. And then they did it when they overturned it with VAR, thankfully. But, like,
Chalobah had that look on his face as well. I watched the replay and he was like... just walking around. I don't think they've seen that. But honestly, then there was a Fulham. Marco Silva was fuming as well because Matty Cash blocked a shot, but he's blocked it and his arm's like out there, so it's hit his arm behind him because he's going to block the shot. And it's like those ones are maybe a little bit more. It's like I need to, But when my interpretation of if you're making your body bigger in any way because your arm is outstretched like really far and the ball hits you, then it's a penalty. But then there is that thing of like, where are they supposed to put their arms? Is that in an unnatural position? Look at the Salah one as well. Crystal Palace. Craig Richards tweeted afterwards. It's like, I knew I weren't going crazy. Like, what the fuck? What is this?
Yeah, it's like it's bizarre. Like, so again, it's so bad, like really, really bad every single week. And even there's no excuse for me for Bruno missing the penalty, but the sort of shenanigans that were going on surrounding that are just bizarre as well. I mean, I get like VAR, you can do the whole long decision there, but the fact that they took the length to look at it from a VAR, still got it wrong. And then I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to make a substitute, while someone's about to take a penalty as well. I think, hasn't it come out that the rules say you can't actually do that? Because you're deliberately wasting time to make it more difficult for the penalty taker. Now, Bruno's a shit penalty and he still should score, and I don't want to see him on penalties now. But even now, I thought at the time, like, can you do this? Like, just basically, I'm just going to delay the restart as much as possible by making these subs. And then they put out something online about their explanation for it. And then there's a community note underneath it being like, no, this isn't true. So they are just making it up as they go along. They are officials. They don't even know the laws in which they're enforcing.
And I don't know how it's actually got to that. I really don't. But then again, it's been the same thing every year. Why are we surprised? Obviously, Wayne Rooney's had his rant this morning. A couple of quotes from that. This is not Man United. I don't recognise the club. I don't see any fight, character, or desire to win. All day I think about this. Should I say it or keep quiet? But I feel like I have to. It's like he doesn't want to do the ex-player thing, just piling on. He's like, he tries to refrain from that, but he's like, I've got to say it. This isn't Man United. I don't recognise it. Yeah, I don't see any character. I don't see decisive players who amaze me with their performances. I don't see ability, etc., etc. Also, there was a video that I saw from Romano, just looking at Xavi, saying he would go to Man United in a heartbeat. He'd go there immediately with no European football.
It stunk of Xavi's agent calling for Fabrizio Romano, didn't it?
100%.
Because not many people were really talking about Xavi all that much, and then suddenly it just comes out. Xavi would love to come to Manchester United. I wonder why he suddenly just brought that up.
Loads of managers would as well. Loads of managers would. Yeah, 100%. That's a proper on the blow. I'll tell you what, Fabrizio.
Yeah.
But anyway, there you go. Is that the super chat's done? Is that everything done? Yes, it is. Right, smash the like on the way out, people. We've been so angry to show. We didn't even push for likes. We had like 1,700 people watching. We should have been pushing higher. Let's get to 400 on the way out because we're at 378 as well. So, yes, subscribe to the Football Flex. Subscribe to Owen Wrestling News 36555 as well. And yes, we are out of here. Red carpet later on. We have to talk. Take care, people. Yeah. Enjoy your Monday. Forget about Man United for a few hours until it's 7 p.m. anyway, till we reconvene for the red carpet. I'm out of here. We're out of here. Peace.